folks. Welcome to the Future of Faith podcast. I'm Josh Packard, the co-founder of Future of Faith.
I'm Keedren Boston, ministry practitioner here at Future of Faith.
In each episode of this podcast, we're going to break down one key research finding from our brand new study about listening and faith formation. I'll give you the national perspective, trends and insights.
I take Josh's big fancy data and make it, useful. Spoiler alert. Not everything works, but I'll keep it real with how it actually plays out in ministry.
That's right. We believe listening isn't just a skill, it's a sacred tool.
So let's talk about what happens when listening leads the way.
This is the Future of Faith.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Future of Faith podcast. I'm Keedren Boston.
I'm Josh Packard.
Listen, we've had a beautiful journey here this first season. We've talked about a lot of stuff, Josh.
Great, man. I've learned a ton.
For sure. And that's what this episode is. I really want to know. I really want us to talk about what stood out, what was impactful for us, some big takeaways. And I'm interested to know and hear from you about those things and maybe something you've learned along the way.
Yeah.
So let's dive in, man.
Well, same. I'm curious, Keedren. It's especially from your vantage point, designing ministry, working with people every day. How this kind of information, is sort of going to stick with you or live with you moving forward. I know for me as a researcher, there's a couple of things. I mean, the probably the biggest takeaway is that relationships aren't getting less important; they're only going to get more important.
Yes.
And it's this is a data point that comes right out of at the very end of the survey. I don't know. I just wanted to ask something about AI. I'm just very curious about how. Is this a thing that young people are thinking about or is impacting their world? And I'm not just young people, I guess, because the survey's for all adults. And so we asked them, to what extent do you agree with the statement? And the statement is something like, I'm growing, because of artificial intelligence, I'm growing more and more skeptical of the things that I see online. And like 60% of adults and teens agreed with that statement. That they don't know what's true anymore online, if they ever did, right? But AI is making them even more skeptical of that, which means that I think we're going to see, these things that we've been seeing this season about this push away from institutions and toward relationships as the source of trust in the modern world. I think that's only going to become more and more important. So that's one thing, is that I don't think this is going away. And then the other thing that's sticking with me from this whole research project that I want to follow up on, it's this quote from Alexandria. Alexandria is a 24-year-old woman. I think we referenced her maybe in the second episode or something. And in our interview, she said, I just can't help but think about the Gen Z population. I think they're looking for sanctuary. I love to use that word. I think they're looking for sanctuary and someone to help them and to listen to them. And they're just looking to be heard. There were more communities willing to open their ears to what the younger population had to say. There may be more involvement in youth groups and things like that, but you don't really see a lot of that anymore. And so it was just like, that's going to stay with me as like, yeah, that's why we're doing this. Like, I think Alexandria is right. I love how she's taking this very non-judgmental stance. She's just saying, you don't see it. She's not saying, well, it's because church leaders suck or, pastors have terrible hearts. It's none of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't see that. And I think she's right. And it's like, yeah, we want to help. I think what the season is like showing me, especially through a lot of the examples that you use, was like, there are things that if these relationships are going to become even more important in the future, if that's going to be the source of trust, there are real concrete, practical things that we can do to embed listening as a form of ministry across the work that we do. And so that's going to that's going to live here for a while.
No, that's so good, man. I have the vision of, as you were talking, I'm listening, things were coming to life. And even as you were sharing, the feedback, from, one of the interviews, I had a vision of one of my students, and her head was down. She was reading a book. And all it took for me was to engage, right? And what this says to me, all this data and a big takeaway from me is they want to be engaged.
Yeah.
They want to be heard. They want to be cared for. And that speaks so much, because I hear adults say, man, what do they want? What can I do for them? You know what I mean? Like, I can't relate to them. I don't, I'm too old. I'm too this or too ...
Yeah.
But our students, our young people, our people are ready to be engaged because they want that relationship. We know, you can see commercials now, these AI commercials that look very real.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is that, so-and-so? And it's like, no, that's AI right there. And so having a true connection to what's real is so valuable. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
But it's also tells us that these generations want to be engaged, and it's important to engage them and not overthink it and feel like you don't have what it takes, because you are what it takes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You are what it takes.
Yeah. This is good. But this is showing that we just need to do life with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and taking that first step of like, I think you're right. Like, that can be so intimidating. Like, well, they play video games. I don't know how to play video games. Or like, they speak this language. I don't know how to speak this language. Or, like so-and-so, they seem fine. They're all, like, I live in this neighborhood with, where like people drive into their garage, they close the door and you never see them. Like, sometimes all it takes though is just the first step to like knock on your neighbor's door, talk to somebody, see how they're doing.
Seriously.
Do you want to be heard? They want to talk. Yeah,
I agree, man. And I just love the insight, as far as even talking about how we should listen.
Yeah.
Right. To give some practical ways. And it's even reminders for me, for us, like, to not go away from these things and try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Some of that is really basic. Be curious. Right.
Yeah. So this is important stuff, man. And I'm grateful to be a part. I'm grateful to be a student. I feel like I'm a lifelong learner. I want to continue to learn about how to be a better leader, but also learn about the people that I'm leading and doing life with, and to be able to lift people up, because I want to see people win now, not later.
Yeah.
Right. We can do that, that's priceless, man. So.
Well, look, even the feeling is mutual. I mean, it goes both ways. I'm totally grateful for you for taking the time to do this with us and to bringing your insights from, years of practical experience doing ministry, so that these sort of abstracts and, data, these national numbers, that they have a real face and a name to it. Remind people that, yeah, it's good to hear these things, but, you can put these to work. You can put these, in action in your own context as well. If you want to see, you can obviously go and listen to I hope at this point you've listened to the whole season, but if you can obviously go back and listen to any of these episodes, we're going to be dropping white papers and fact sheets, hopefully a data dashboard coming up here soon. That's all going to be at our website, www.futureoffaith.org. And it'll all be free. Like, this is our job here, is to try and give you the information and the tools that you need to do relational ministry in the way that's going to make the most sense for your community. We believe strongly in the power of relationships in this era, and we just want to be a part of sort of shining a light on that movement. So you can go to our website, you can find all that stuff, you can sign up for the newsletter. I think the one promise that I'll make to you in the newsletter is that it's more emojis than you'll get in any other newsletter. Right, Keedren? You've seen it. It's a lot of emojis. Okay, and with that, I just want to say a big thank you to all that you do in ministry for people, and thanks for listening. It's been a joy to get to be here and talking about this with my friend and partner here, Keedren. Keedren, thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh. Love you, brother. This has been great.
Same. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. You have been listening to the Future of Faith podcast, produced by Future of Faith with original music by me, Keedren Boston. You can learn more about the Sacred Listening Study and all the amazing things going on in relational ministry at www.futureoffaith.org. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, where we feature incredible ministries, sacred listeners, and cutting-edge research, all for free, delivered right to your inbox. Thanks for listening. This is the Future of Faith.